have a more whole head. Welcome to the show, Paul. This is the Brother Seamus Show. Right now we've got live streams going out over YouTube and TikTok, both at Brother Seamus Show. Now what I've discovered is TikTok gets mad if you're not moving around a lot. So I'm going to try to keep moving around enough. It gets mad when I put it down in the small screen like this. I think it wants the full body. It wants to see that something's happening, which I kind of understand, but I can't tell if these people joined from the last show or from right now, but hey, welcome Vicky and Allie. Welcome Mike, Linda, baby girl. Now I can say hi to people with one click. Welcome Terrible Night. Welcome Sassa. Welcome Amy. Amy Taylor's something. Taylor's V. Phyllis Sharp. David Lane. Welcome everybody. Welcome. If you're live on YouTube, I can answer your comments. If you're live on TikTok, I can answer your comments. If you're watching via Facebook on the Humans for Democracy page, I can't really watch that feed because of, reasons and stuff. But please, if you're over on Facebook, if you're one of those Facebook people, this is what our Facebook page looks like. Let me show you real quick. The song that you're just hearing is a new track that I just released. We go by the name Ogo Pogo, but it's just me and my cousin actually. Ogo Pogo's the name, people. Don't wear it out. I'll give you a link to the album when it actually comes out. In the meantime, if you want to follow our political stuff, Abortion Saves Women, then follow us at Humans for Democracy. That's where Brother Seamus is hosted. Brother Seamus is hosted by Humans for Democracy on Facebook. Otherwise, the Brother Seamus Show on YouTube and Brother Seamus Show on TikTok, and you can follow us. We do have t-shirts available over here at Humans for Democracy on Bonfire. You can get a Proud Snowflake coffee mug, people. Look at that thing. It's a beauty. Get yourself a Proud Snowflake coffee mug and support the cause. Primarily what we talk about right now is abortion. And I know it's not a fun issue, but that's kind of what I like to talk about. But we don't have to. We can talk about electronic dance music if you want. So this track is called Whole Head.
I'd like to have a more whole head.
I'd like to, and that's me on the audio. Then my cousin who is, he's very much the music producer. Oh, see, that's weird. They're trying to get me to do something over here on YouTube. What's wrong? Oh, it thinks I'm streaming at too high of a bit rate. I don't know how to change my bit rate right now, YouTube. everybody's having a good night. Feel free to give us a call at 509-676-6032. The song you're listening to is called Whole Head by Ogo Pogo, which is the name of my electronic dance music project. I'm going to go back to full screen real quick because TikTok gets very mad if you're live streaming and you don't give them enough movement. They'll act like you're not streaming. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm sitting too still. Also, if you're watching on TikTok, could you tell me, are you seeing me in the widescreen, or are you seeing me in the tall screen?
I would like to have a more whole head.
I tried to set it up to go portrait mode, but I don't think it's working. Let's see, over here it looks like I'm in most definitely. Let's see, rotate. I wonder what that would do. Oh, it would just do that. Okay. That's not very useful. What else can we do? Flip. I don't think I want to flip it. Fit to screen. No. Let's try our settings. Let's see if there's any settings. Are there any settings? Oh, I grabbed the wrong one. Display 1920 by 1080. Capture cursor. Ooh, I do like that. I think I'll go with capture cursor. Okay, so this is... That's YouTube. What is TikTok doing? Can I turn it while I'm... I probably can't change my orientation while I'm streaming, can I? Let's switch it down to the house music now for a minute, people. We'll take some questions now. This is a proper scooter helmet. It's for real. I don't know if these are glass or just really reflective plastic. It's probably plastic, but it's a lovely helmet. I'm going to be on the air for no more than 55 to 59 minutes. And if you want to ask me a question, you can. We can talk about stuff. I tend to get stuck on the topic of abortion because of the state of things right now, the fact that women are dying from miscarriages. They're dying from miscarriages, and we're just letting it go on as if it's no big deal. So, anyway, we can definitely talk about abortion. I'm going to probably bring it up no matter what, but I hope you'll bring up your own ideas. Now, I do want to talk about during the last show, we had a young fella named Tyler. Oh, I'm still playing the track, aren't I? And Tyler was getting after it a little bit, which is fine. I criticized him, I think constructively. He was coming up with real simple answers like, well, if you don't get abortion care, if you're having a miscarriage and you go to the hospital and you don't get any help, well, that's malpractice. And he's right, but he's wrong. No, that's not right. Tyler was correct, but incomplete. I agree with Tyler. It is malpractice. If somebody's having a miscarriage, if an 18-year-old woman, no matter how badly she wants to keep the pregnancy going, if she's going to die without an abortion, because abortion isn't just about terminating a pregnancy. It's about, apparently, I'm just learning this, it's about allowing the uterus to close So you basically are suctioning out what's left in there because the fetus did not completely get expelled. I know it's kind of gross and it's upsetting, but you know what? That's how our bodies work. The fetus was growing, something went wrong, it happens in 1 out of 10 cases, and then the woman is in this position of needing an abortion to live, because abortion isn't just about, like this young mother, Nive, who you'll see here in a minute, she didn't want she wanted the pregnancy to go to term. She did not want an abortion. But without it, she was going to die, and in fact, she did die, because they wouldn't let her have it. They kept delaying it. There's more nuance to it, but the bottom line in most of these 5 cases you're going to see here in this story that I'm about to unfold upon you, the common thread is they delayed. And so Tyler was getting a little agitated, I think, and he was like, well, that's malpractice then. It's like, yeah, but the law says they're not allowed to do it. So what do the doctors do? Do they listen to their ethical code? I would argue, yes, they should. But the state of Texas threatens them with 99 years, people. 99 years of prison in Texas. How about them apples? We just showed the movie Good Will Hunting recently, and over at the local community theater. It has a great line in it. How you like them apples? Oh, no, that's not the one I wanted to show you. I want to show you my 10,000 millisecond slide here, people. I think you'll like it. Check it out, full screen. Here we go. No! Welcome to my studio. That's my black hole that I like to stand in when I'm preaching. Oh, I forgot to put the mask down. Hang on. I don't feel completely ready without my mask down. So I hope you'll hang out for a few minutes and maybe put in some comments here. And if you don't feel like commenting, that's okay. And a friend of mine told me recently that she said, oh, I see you're going live sometimes. And I was like, yeah, you don't have to watch, though. We're friends. You don't have to like my shtick necessarily. And she's like, no, I want to watch it, but I hate going into a room and then I feel like I'm not allowed to leave. So she has social anxiety. So let me say this. You can come in and out of this broadcast as you see fit. I'm just going to do a little bit of gentle preaching about just a pretty simple idea that we should not, let me get in the black hole here. We should not allow women to die in emergency rooms. We should not allow women to die preventable deaths in emergency rooms. Why are we doing that in 2024? And why am I wearing South Park pajama bottoms? 2 very different questions. One very sadly serious, and one whimsical. We can talk about either one. In fact, we should go back and forth just to keep ourselves a little bit balanced, a dynamic tension. In addition to pontificating about abortion, even though I'm not an owner of a uterus, I did grow up hearing stories from my mother, who was a labor and delivery nurse. She regaled us with stories of labor and delivery. Sometimes they were horrible and upsetting stories, but you learn a lot, and I'm still learning. I'm a psychologist. I'm not an OBGYN, but I know of preventable death when I see one, and the medical board in Georgia decided that these deaths were preventable, and they're going to be lawsuits, and I think what these governors are failing to realize is they're not going to be able to hide this. Now, I think Governor Kemp And I'm sure Abbott, I'm sure all the governors know what's happening. So they are going to be implicated in forcing doctors through threat and intimidation to violate a woman's constitutional right to life. So what these laws have effectively done is they have taken the life of the mother and they've made it worth less than an undeveloped fetus that happens to have a heartbeat. A heartbeat doesn't make you who you are. I know a lot of people don't like that idea, and I'm not trying to upset you, but until your consciousness, until you have enough of a brain that you can be aware that you are you, even in its most primitive state, if there's no conscious mind, I think most of us agree that person is not with us. So it's the same coming in as it is going out. The fetus is basically, it's an airplane without a pilot. And people will argue, well, it reacts to sound and it reacts to this and it's happy and it's sad. It's like, well, you're projecting onto it because right now there's no one receiving those messages. There's a brain and there are impulses, and the fetus will react to sound. But there's no one in there yet. The dude is not in, right? And I think we have to think about that. We can't get away with this oversimplification that life starts at conception, because guess what? The tip of my pinky, I forgot to go full screen. TikTok's going to be so mad. TikTok's going to be so mad at me. I could chop off the tip of my pinky and then the cat steals it. Is that life? It's got all my DNA. It's just the tip of my pinky. A fertilized egg, there's a good chance it won't even work. That being said, if you are wanting to be pregnant and you have a miscarriage, your grief will be real. Not because you lost a baby, but because you lost a potential baby. And maybe, like a lot of us do, and it's a very innocent, fine thing to do, but it sets you up for sadness, is we anthropomorphize the fertilized egg, the zygote, the fetus. We try to kind of, in our mind, we make it into a baby. And that's the lie, because it's such an emotional thing to think about a little baby, and I think evolution wants us to be protective of little babies. So the idea of harming a baby is awful to most people, which is good. It's a good protective instinct. But you jump the gun. It's not a baby yet. It's a developing baby. It's going to get there. But really, up until 6 months at the earliest, could a baby possibly have any sort of consciousness? Now, you're free to disagree with me, of course. As I drink my hot tea out of a Pyrex measuring cup. It works really well if your tea is really hot. And you can take it right out of the microwave. It's got a nice handle. I don't work for Pyrex, people, but I'm telling you what, you get yourself... Look at that handle, sticks way out there. Shit. You get a hold of that, you won't burn your hands at all. I should sell Pyrex measuring cups in the TikTok shop. So hey, everybody, TikTok is telling me that I should be encouraging you, and I'm kind of the mind that you can come in and talk if you want. We can talk about abortion. I'll show you my cool sign that I keep backstage. I can play my electronic dance music track for you. The song is called Whole Head. We've got at least an EP together at this point. Ogo Pogo is the name of the band that I record with. My cousin Sam does all the hard work. And we will post it at some point on whatever application people put their music on. So Ogo Pogo we're going to drop our first album here soon, probably before spring, and I think we'll have the track Whole Head will be out. Well, shit, I might as well play it now. I keep talking about it. Here's some more Whole Head by Ogo Pogo.
I'd like to have a more whole head. A more whole head.
This is the Brother Seamus Show. If you want to call us, the number's right there on your screen, 509-676-6032. You can try to reach out to me on TikTok, and I'll try to pick up your call, but TikTok confuses me a little bit about how people can come into a chat. I don't know what I'm doing. And I don't want to get somebody in my chat that I can't get rid of. Because that would be bad. That would be really bad. Whole Head by Ogopogo. Vocal loops by me. Music production by my cousin. Thanks for joining, everybody. You don't have to stay. You can come and say hi, and then you can get out of here. You don't have to stay. I promise you that. But, I mean, if you're in the neighborhood, you know, come on in and say hi, would you? Let's see how our GPU usage is only about 66%. That's good. Let's see what we got going on over here on the YouTube. See if there's any questions. The Brother Seamus Show, you can call us or you can request to join on TikTok. I'm not sure. I would tell you how to do that, but I don't really know how to do it. And I'm going to put in some fake commentary into the chat room to see if that triggers the algorithm to send me more viewers. But you know what? It's Thanksgiving. It's about a little after 7 in Walla Walla, Washington. A lot of people might be already kind of pooped out, people. If I go this way, you'll be able to see the sign better, won't you? Not all women are feminists, and not all feminists are women. To me, feminism is synonymous with humanism. Like, you can't really just decide that women should be denied life-saving health care. You just can't do it. It just makes no frickin' sense. And besides, setting aside the atrocity, I honestly, as your brother Seamus, it's so dumb. Don't men realize that protecting human rights for women makes all of society better? Because anyone, whether they're in the Sudan or Gaza or in one of the states in this country that allows women to die from miscarriage, any act of genocide against any people ever, for any reason, from any group to any other group, is an abomination on society. And doesn't that make us sicker? That's my argument. I'm an atheist, but I'm a preacher. I'm a psychologist. I'm a performer. I like to wear disco ball scooter helmets with the mask flipped down. So this is what I consider church, people. You can count this. If you're a practicing atheist, I am a licensed minister, and this counts as your church for the day if you happen to be watching it. I think you have to be engaged for at least 8 minutes for the non-Lord to recognize your devotion. I'm enjoying some peppermint tea by Stash. I'm not trying to say Stash is like the best, but it's my personal favorite. Stash, if you want me to sell your products, I'm your brother Seamus. I will sell some Stash tea online, people. I'm not afraid to sell products I actually use. Not too proud to beg, people. If you're watching me on TikTok, I'm almost to 1,000 followers, so I'd love for you to follow me. If you're watching me on YouTube, I have almost no followers because I've been letting my YouTube site just lay around. Although I think YouTube makes you work harder for followers. Anyway, I'd love a follow on either or both. Brother Seamus Show. I'll try to give you something fun to look at, something fun to listen to, and maybe we'll also talk in a reasonable way. I'm not going to, I want to be clear, if you're a really conservative person, this is a safe space. I'm not here to attack conservative people. Now, like the Tyler in last episode, I'm sure he's conservative, but I wasn't attacking him because of that. I wouldn't even call it an attack. I was kind of calling him out like, hey, bro. He was saying it's malpractice if the doctors in Atlanta don't perform an abortion, a D&C, to cleanse the womb of the remaining fetal tissue that it failed to expel during a normal miscarriage. It failed to expel, and now infection is setting in, and I think organ damage is setting in, and blood pressure issues start to happen. If you give the woman experiencing the miscarriage a D&C, you clean out the uterus, I think it allows it to close and go, to stop bleeding, basically. I know that's a lot and it's upsetting, but we have to talk about it. We can't go around committing genocide, people. It's not going to work. Unfortunately, I think social media, this is another thing I preach about, social media has made us become horrible to each other. We weren't ready for this. One of the 5 things I'd like you to do is I'd like you to stop using social media as much as possible. And yes, I know it's ironic that I'm reaching out to you via social media, but it's the only way I can reach you. I've been a psychologist for 30 years. I know I look silly right now, but hear me when I say this social media stuff is effing our society up. And I'll tell you why. Somewhere between 5 and 15% of people are highly suggestible. Okay? They will be convinced of something if their emotions are engaged enough. And what do you think social media does? It targets people who are vulnerable. And it's not about being smart. A lot of people think they're smart and they can't get fooled that way. But if you're going through a difficult time, if you're going through a divorce, if you're going through recovery from, getting off of alcohol or whatever it might be, if your kids are mad at you, or if your parents are mad at you, if nobody will talk to you, if you're going through a rough time, you might get sucked into some bullshit too. We need to reestablish community relationships. When I was growing up, our neighbors were of all different political viewpoints. We didn't really talk about it. I'm not saying we couldn't talk about it at all, but it was considered impolite to just go charging in and questioning people's politics. You got to give people a safe space. And I think both sides are guilty of mistreating each other, but I got to pick on the right now, the Trump folks. The threats of violence are coming mostly from MAGA. And I know a lot of you don't like hearing that, but I see it in my own comments sometimes. The people get threatening poll workers are not Kamala Harris voters. Kamala Harris voters don't think of it, they don't buy the idea that the election was fraudulent. Some of them might get, in a moment of distress, you might be more amenable to ideas like that. And I think right after the election, there were quite a few people thinking it couldn't be the case. The same way Trump's people felt when he lost to Biden in 2020. And I just want to remind you, Trump did not win a mandate. If you're feeling bad about the election, it was pretty close, people. 1.5 points or less. I haven't seen the latest figures. Biden shellacked Trump. Biden shellacked the hell out of him, but Trump's going to spend the rest of his time in office trying to, let's put it over here, I guess. Let's put it way over here. How about that? Is that better? Anyway, I also want people to realize I just saw a guy talking about the election, and he was saying that he's just so sad that half the country doesn't care about being decent to people, because he was basically saying that MAGA is all about being cruel and not following the ways that we were raised to be respectful of people. Basically, he's calling out MAGA as being kind of hateful, and he's got a pretty solid point. But he was saying half the country was MAGA. But I want to remind everybody that in terms of the number of votes cast, Donald Trump only won by about 1.5 percentage points. But I also want to remind everybody that only a full third of Americans didn't even vote. People who were eligible to vote, we only got like a 64% turnout. A full 1/3 of our country is not voting. Now you might be saying, well, it wouldn't matter because the votes would still be split the way they are. No, they wouldn't. Because when you get more people in the middle voting, it forces the candidates to be more moderate. And Trump is not a moderate candidate. However, so massive voter mobilization is a thing we need desperately, desperately. However, social media is such a polluting force. Social media is so good at being destructive. And we've always had conspiracy theories. We haven't always had social media. And I think what's happening is it's making us become horrible people. And the Trump campaign was especially good at scaring the shit out of people. They just were. That's Trump's superpower. He talked about immigrants are going to come and kill you and harm you, which is bullshit. It's all lies. It's all lies. Yes, there are some immigrants that commit criminal acts. Show us the criminal acts in that area during that same time. Who committed the majority of violence against young women? It would be men. It would be white men, simply because there are more of us. Immigrants are no more prone to crime than people that live here. In fact, they might be a little bit less so. However, the boogeyman, when Trump says, oh, the immigrants are going to come and they're going to rape the white women and they're going to bring you drugs, and they forget about the fact that we're looking for those drugs, that Americans are wanting those drugs. But he's so good at scary. He's got people scared of trans people. Show me the crime stats. How many trans people, trans people will have a criminal element, but what percentage of the population is even trans? 1.5% is the highest estimate I've read. Why are you afraid of trans people? Trans people are not the threat. In fact, if anything, trans people are probably safer, if I had to guess. But he was so good at convincing you that there was some sort of, nefarious situation going on. It's like, the people are coming here in record numbers because there's work available. There's work available. If we really wanted to stop immigration, we would stop allowing anyone to hire immigrants, but we allow it all the time. And then they do this big show of rounding up immigrants. And it's like, why don't you round up the employer that hired them if it's so illegal, if it's so terrible? But everybody knows in those communities that without the immigrant workforce, hell, you don't believe me? You don't believe me? Go to Garden City, Kansas, okay? Or just watch the movie Garden City, Kansas. That town the farmers themselves will tell you they can't find enough Americans to do the work because they need to do farming, and about all they can afford to pay, at least at the time of the filming, was like $10 an hour. It may be up to 11 or 12 by now, but because it's been a few years. But it's this immigration scare, the scare tactic that we're being overrun. It's just designed to do just that, scare you. And when you're scared, especially if you're a highly suggestible person, when you're scared, you'll be more likely to believe an extreme counterfactual claim. In other words, you'll be more likely to believe malarkey, as smart Grandpa Joe Biden would say. If you're stressed out, you're more likely to believe malarkey. If you're stressed out, you're more likely to believe malarkey. This is your brother Seamus. I promise to always tell you the truth as well as I can. I'm about to shut it down for the night. If anybody has any last questions, now's your chance. I made this sign with bingo markers, fluorescent bingo markers. I've got so many color filters on right now that you probably can't see it that well. But I invite you to make yourself a sign with the same information. This sign, this phrase, abortion saves women, is what a lot of people refer to. I didn't make this up, but a lot of people call that counter speech. So for years, the quote-unquote right to life movement, even though they don't care about the life of the mother, the right to life movement claimed that abortion kills babies. But that was a pernicious lie. What abortion actually does is it saves women from death by miscarriage. So this is the sign. I'm thinking about doing another sign that is slightly, put like 5 words, 6 words, I'd like it to say, abortion saves women from death by miscarriage. But that's pretty wordy for a sign, but what I want to point out mainly is that this is counter speech. So this is what the Brother Seamus show is all about. And we also like to have some fun, too. And sometimes our cameras get a little crooked. Oh, now I fucked it up. Yep. I sure did. Fucked it right up. Sorry about that, people. Abortion saves women. I can't believe in my entire life I never thought I'd see women being attacked in this way, and I think men need to get in the game. Men need to get in the game immediately. New polls. Which democratic nation is best at voting? Oh, yeah. It's trying to get me to do a poll. All right, let's do a poll, people. I'm going to throw it out there. Current poll. All right, good. If you see a poll happening, I think it's on TikTok. I can't tell if that was a TikTok thing or a YouTube thing. So a big part of what I'm saying is there's a third of the population that's not voting. We have to find out why, and we have to get them to vote, okay? That's what I want your help with, YouTube, TikTok people. We need to counter-speak. This is perfect counter-speech right here. Abortion saves women. You can make your own sign. You can get some bingo markers and make your own sign. But abortion saves women. In 2024, did you ever think that we would be killing women in our emergency rooms through malicious legal neglect? So earlier, a young commenter said, well, if the doctor doesn't provide the care they need, that's malpractice. Yeah, well, it's not that simple because the law says he can't do it. So is it still malpractice? I'll tell you this much. If you are one of the hospital corporations, if you're a lawyer for one of the hospital corporations that's involved in the intentional neglect of the standard of care in violation of a woman's basic constitutional right to life, it's the first one they mention, right? Right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But oh, hey, the devil went down to Georgia, and now the right to life, if you're a woman having a miscarriage, well, it's suspended. We kind of just suspended that because Donald Trump made a deal with the far, far right anti-abortion people. So suddenly, I guess women don't have a right to life because they're secondary. They've been made secondary to the fetus, to the undeveloped fetus, people. That's what we're told. And I know everybody wants, I know it's really popular. It's really not popular. What's the right word? It's really easy to pretend that a fetus is a baby. And I know it's troubling. And I'm not here to, again, if you're a conservative, if you're really strongly anti-abortion, I'm not condemning you. I understand why you feel that way. I used to feel that way. I just don't feel that way anymore. And the reason I don't feel that way is because women will die. Women die when you take abortion away. They just do. You can't take away abortion. If there was some illness that afflicted men, if men had miscarriages, right? We all know what would happen is there would be abortion clinics. This will sound like a joke, but there would be abortion clinics at the mall. There would. So it's preposterous to me. And I think when I tell people, even people that I know really well, they have this kind of look of, But that can't be true, right? Because that's malpractice. That's medical malpractice to deny a woman who's having a miscarriage life-saving medical treatment. But here we are, people. Here we are in 2024, and I'm standing in a black hole with my South Park jammies on and my disco helmet on Thanksgiving 2024. This is the Brother Seamus show, people. Let's do one more hot dance track before we go. Let's get a nice clean dance track. Where did I put it? Where did I put the dance track, baby? Where did I put the dance track? Here we go, people. Here we go. We're gonna start over in 6 seconds. Here it comes. Dun, 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 dun. So 509-676-6032. It's getting a little late to call, but we'll be open for about 10 more minutes. Let's get this out of here. Let's get the... Oh, I'm so happy you can see the mouse now. I like that. Let's get that over there. This is the Brother Seamus show, y'all. 509-676-6032. I don't know what happened to the music, but it was supposed to be coming. There it is. Wait, let's back it up just a smidge. Let's back it up just a smidge. If you've got any questions, let me know. All right, hang on. Oops, I accidentally triggered my background sounds. You hear that? Let's pause that stuff. All right, there's some jungle sounds at the beginning here I want you to hear. Welcome, BR 2020. Is it too much to ask to get a more whole head? This is the Brother Seamus Show. have a more whole head. I'd like to have a more whole head. A whole head. Where can I get a whole head? That's it, people. That's the track. That's the track by Ogo Pogo, ladies and gentlemen. Ogo Pogo. My electronic dance music, nom de plume. Thanks for joining us on the Brother Seamus show. And let's see if we have any questions. I look over here at tick-tockety-tick. I don't see any questions. Well, I still didn't get my snowflake keychain, people. And I didn't get any followers today. I'm not saying I'm mad, but I'm not happy. No, I don't care. It's all so stupid, isn't it? You gotta get more followers. It's like, well, I would like these videos to be seen, because I don't want women to die in emergency rooms. That's basically as simple as I can put it. I feel like we really drove off a cliff here, people. We really did. And God, I hope we can bring it back anyway. So let me pause that. That is today's track, Whole Head. I'll probably use that for another week or so until something happens. Let's see if we can do sound effects yet, or if it's... Nope, sound effects are not working the way I have my sound set up. Okay, 509-676-6032. I got one caller today, and it was a drunk guy, and he started immediately talking about fellatio. So, I had to... I had to bail out on that really quickly. If you appreciate counter speech such as abortion saves women, because what I'm doing here is I'm trying to make it clear that it doesn't matter what you believe about abortion anymore. It matters more whether you believe women have a right to get taken care of when they go to the emergency room. That's really all it is, people. Oh, look, I'm behind the phone number. That's good. I like to keep the phone number out in front. So if you like this kind of counter speech, if you buy a t-shirt from Brother Seamus, let me show you what you'll get here. Or you can buy a coffee mug that says Proud Snowflake. That's why I'm trying to get the snowflake keychain over on TikTok. But if you're on YouTube, that won't mean much to you, I don't think. Let's see. I think you're already seeing the display. I'm just going to drag this over here. That's what I'm going to do. So you can buy our Proud Snowflake coffee mug over at Bonfire. Bonfire.com. Here's what it looks like. Bonfire Humans for Democracy is our merch That's kind of our parent organization. Humans for Democracy is the network, if you will, and Brother Seamus is the show. This is the Brother Seamus show. Brother Seamus is a proud snowflake, but I don't mind talking to whatever the opposite of snowflake is. I guess it's a MAGA. I don't know. I don't believe that the groups really tell us about it. I think knowing you voted for Trump doesn't necessarily tell me anything about you. I think that's a mistake that liberals make, thinking that they know something, but I need to know why you voted for him and be able to talk to you about it. Because I'm here to sell you. I'm a white guy trying to sell you on a couple radical ideas. One is that immigrants make great Americans. We need them. They help our economy. They benefit us by being here. Yes, there are criminals amongst them, but there are no more or less criminals than there are in the white population. You can focus all you want on a single case, but the bottom line is, in every case you mentioned in that same county, wherever you find these, I know you go looking for horrific immigrant violence cases. When you find them, show all the white men that committed violence to women in that same area. You won't do it. You won't do it. Because it's a dishonest claim. Okay? It's a dishonest claim.
Oh, this is Cliff at the Texas.
Oh, hey, Cliff.
I just want to thank you for the service that you're doing for free.
Oh, thank you.
On the internet, we got a lot of guys out on the road right now clearing all the ice and snow so people can get home safely. And
oh, yeah.
the free entertainment and spiritual guidance that you're providing the citizens of Kent County is greatly appreciated. Thank you for drawing some recognition to
Well, thank you,
that.
sir.
And just want to let you know your YouTube signal is working correctly, and we are receiving it loud and clear. So, again, keep up the good work, and God bless you, boys.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That was Cliff calling in on the phone lines, 509-676-6032. We're pretty much out of bullets here. It's 56 or 58 minutes past, so I'm going to have to... I better see what... is that 58 or 56? Whoa, that's a 58, people. I got to get off the air real quick, or TikTok's going to get real mad at me. Thanks again, everybody. This is Brother Seamus. I'll be back sometime.
I would like to have a more whole head.
I would like to have a more whole head. All proceeds go to running social media ads to combat hate speech. We're going to run counter hate. All right, everybody.